Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So we'll continue in our review. I'm going to go back to now the murakkab غير مفيد. If you remember, there's a lafzun, which is any articulation is muhmal, meaningless, and meaningful, which is mawdu. And mawdu was divided into mufrad, single, and murakkab, which is compound. And murakkab was divided into murakkab mufid and غير mufid, the beneficial murakkab, which were sentences, and murakkab غير mufid, which is this category, which were phrases. So now we're going to talk basically about types of phrases. Okay, we're going to need some room here, so we have a little bit of room on the top, so we'll use that room as well. Okay, so murakkab غير mufid are of there are many types. I'm sure there are more than was mentioned here. So the 5 of these are mentioned here. So what we're going to talk about murakkab غير mufid are phrases over here. So we're going to talk about 5 of this. Okay. So let's make sure it's recording. It's recording. So the first of this is al-murakkab tawsifi. Al-murakkab tawsifi. Tawsifi. Like this. توصيفي المركب توصيفي. Okay, this is, you have to know the English name for these. Okay, descriptive phrase. So in other words, this is a combination of 2 words. Okay, here's a 2-word combo. This is 2-word combination. Okay, the first was mawsuf. The first word is the mawsuf, like this, mawsufun, and the second word is called the sifa. Okay, sifatun. Sifatun. Okay, so sifatun is the quality, characteristic. Basically, sifa is what you're describing. Okay, this is actually a descriptive word, and this is what's being described. Okay, for example, the red apple. Okay, what is being described? The apple is being described, and it's just being described. What are you describing about it? You're describing is what quality are you describing? The redness of it. So the apple would be the mawsuf, and the sifa would be the redness of it. Okay, sifa when mawsuf. All right. So the describing word is the sifa. So descriptive. So describing word comes second, by the way. It comes second in the right describing word is called the sifa. Object being described comes first in this construction. So it's a 2-word combination phrase. Okay, so the example given, rajulun salih, a righteous man. Okay, the righteous man. Now sifa and mawsuf, they have to agree in 4 things. Okay, sifa and mawsuf, they have to agree in the 4 things. They have to agree in i'rab. So if they're both have 2 dhammas, they both have 2 dhammas. If one has 2 fathas, both has 2 fathas. If one has 1 fatha, then both must have 1 fatha. So they must always agree on i'rab, and they must agree on gender. The first word is feminine, the second word has to be feminine. The first word is masculine, the second one has to be masculine. And they have to agree in number. If the first word is singular, the second word has to be singular. If the first is dual, the second has to be dual. If the first is plural, the second has to be plural. And finally, both have to be either ma'rifatun, or they both have to be nakira. Nakiratun. So ma'rifa is definite. They both have to be definite. They both have to be indefinite. Ma'rifa is definite, and in nakira is indefinite, right? So murakkab tawsifi is a descriptive phrase, is a two-word combination. Usually, I guess, okay, man, maybe it could be more. A descriptive phrase, I'll just say, is a phrase in which one word describes the other. That's what it says. Mawsuf sifa. Mawsuf comes first, sifa. Murakkab tawsifi, mawsuf sifa. Okay? And then they have to agree on these four things. They have to agree on the Arab, they have to agree on the gender, they have to agree on the number, and they have to agree on whether they're both ma'arifa or they're both nakira. So that you have to understand. So that's the first type of murakkab naqis, murakkab ghair mufid, incomplete. By themselves, they don't make a sentence. Okay, right? The second type of construction, that is مركب غير مفيد كلام ناقص أو مركب ناقص أو جملة غير مفيد as known as المركب الإضافي. المركب مركب الإضافي إضافي إضافي. Okay, إضافي is like additional, right? إضافي, additional. So this is a possessive phrase. Possessive phrase. For the best example is Kitabullah, Allah's book, Allah's book, okay? Or Kitabu Zayd, in Zayd's book, okay? So Kitabullah, the first word. The first word, so this is again a two combination uh, phrase, two combination, okay? The first word is the mudaf, mudafun, and the second is mudaf ilayhi. Okay, so Kitabullahi, okay, so mudaf, and who's kitab? So the first one is the first word is what's being possessed, okay. Um, Possessor, what's being possessed, okay. So the possessed does not have to be object that's being possessed. Could be quality that's being possessed too, right? Anyway, so mudaf like what's being possessed and possessor. Okay, now there's some rules that you have to know about these. All right, so the mudaf has two requirements. Okay, it has two requirements. The mudaf, it cannot take a al, okay, and it cannot take the tanween. It cannot have two fatah, two kasrat, two damas. Okay, it cannot take al, and it cannot take the tanween. These are two very important things you have to know about mudaf. Okay, and mudaf ilayh is always majroor. Always majroor. Okay, majroorun. Okay, that's always majroor. Okay, so that's you have to know about these. Mudaf is no al, no tanween. Mudaf ilayh is always majroor. Now, now if mudaf ilayh is always majroor, mudafs, the i'rab of mudaf can change. It can, depending on the amil. So amil can affect the mudaf. Okay, the fatha kasra of the mudaf can change based on amil. So mudaf is flexible in what i'rab it can have. Mudaf ilayh is always majroor. Okay, we got that. There's one more important concept here, and that we have to talk about. Okay, so mudaf comes first, right? And there's mudaf ilayh, Let's say if you want to describe some aspect of mudaf, okay, right? So the example given, for example, is Babu Bayt Rajuli, okay, the door of the man's house, okay. If you want to describe the mudaf, you have to put that description in the end after this, and you have to put it al on it, okay. You have to put it al on it. So, and if you're describing mudaf, you put it on the al, and it has to have the same Arab as the mudaf. Okay. Now, if you want to describe mudaf ilayhi, you put the description also in the end. You put the description also right after it. Okay, and then you put it al on it, just like over here. You put al on it. Okay, but and then you put the Arab of the mudaf ilayh. That's how you know if the description belongs to the mudaf ilayh or if the description belongs to the mudaf by the Arab. If the Arab is the same as the mudaf, then this description is for the mudaf. If the Arab is the same as the mudaf ilayh, then the description is for the mudaf ilayh. So that's an important concept to know. If you wanted to add something to this phrase, a description describing the mudaf, it should have al and it should have the same Arab as the mudaf. If you want to describe the mudaf ilayh, add another word to describe mudaf ilayh, it should have al and have the same i'rab as the mudaf ilayh. Okay, that's an important concept. Okay, so that's the second type. So the first type of murakkab غير mufid was murakkab tawsifi, mawsuf and sifa, and the second type was murakkab idafi, which is mudaf and mudaf ilayh. We talked about that, and then there's three more we have to talk about. Now here we go. Number three. Let's call this number three. Let's label this number two. Label this number one. Number two, number three. So number three is murakkab al-ishari. Al-murakkabu al-ishari. I wish my handwriting was al-ishari. Ishara is like pointing, right? So this is like demonstrative. It's like this book, that book, like ذلك الكتاب. That's a ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه. Okay, this is a demonstrative phrase, that showing, pointing phrase. You're demonstrating, you're showing something. Okay, so in a murakkab ishari, this is this first part is called ism ishara. Is al ishara. Isharatin, mudaf mudaf ilayh construction. This is called ism ishara. Alright? And this is called, whatever's being pointed to, that is the musharun ilayh. That's called musharun ilayhi. Musharun ilayh. Okay? So in this case, this is ism ishara and this is called musharun ilayh, whatever you're pointing towards. Okay? And together, this is a murakkab. Together they make it murakkab ishari. Does that make sense? Okay. So now notice the important thing is when you're trying to make this construction, the most important thing is this al actually. Okay, that's how we know this is a murakkab ishari. If it says zalika kitab, it means if somebody just says zalika kitab, that's a book. That is a book. Zalika kitab means that book. So it's the al that makes it that book. If you just put ذلك kitab, means that is a book. That's a sentence. So that's how you make murakkab al-ishari. Okay, you got that. All right, and then the next one is, all right. The next phrase is al-murakkab al-murakkab al-binai. So hamza here again. Binaiyu. Okay, al-murakkab binaiyu is also known as murakkab al-adadi or al-adadi. Adadiyu. Okay, this is a numerical phrase. And this is only for the numbers 11 to 19. Okay, in 11 to 19, these are phrases are like ahada ashara, isna ashara, salasata ashara. Okay, in this phrase, for example, ahada ashara. Okay, this is hamza, ahada ashara. So this was originally ahadun wa ashrun. To make it flow easier, you say ahada ashara. Okay. تسنى خمسة وعشرة or something, but it's simplified form. So this is one construction, 11. Okay, right? So أحد عشر اثنا عشر ثلاثة عشر etc. تسعة عشر. Okay, 11 to 19. These are okay. The thing about this construction is there used to be a vowel in the middle before that they took it out and made it into this type of construction. What's must be understood is that in this construction, all of these have fathas. All of them are maftuhun. See all fathas. Okay, that's how you make these. Um, the number 12 is slightly special because, and they don't change. They're always like this. In halatul rafa, in halatul nasab, in halatul jar, they always change, remain the same. They don't change. So ahada ashar rajulan, for example. Okay, rajulan. So these would not change in any state. Okay, they would remain like this in every state, except for the number 12. All right, the number 12, which is isna. Okay, isna. Okay, it is isna ashara. Okay, and then it changes to isnay like this. It changes to is nay. Okay, it's changed to isnay ashara. Okay, so it's isna ashara when it is in a state of rafa. It changes to isna ashara in a state of nasab and jar. Okay, instead of jar it becomes isna. Instead of nasab it becomes nay, and instead of rafa it becomes isna. So only the first part changes. Only the first part changes to this. Okay, and this is all for only 11 to 19. And then 20 is ishrun, and then the wow returns. Like, I don't know, ahadun wa ishrun, something. Okay, so this is only for 11 to 19. Okay, so this was number fourth type of phrase we talked about here. Okay, and finally the fifth type of phrase is over here. This is known as al-murakkabu man'u as-sarfi. Mudaf mudaf correction. Okay, this is indeclinable phrase. That's what man means. Man is prohibited, indeclinable. Sarf is declensions, right? Indeclinable phrase means they don't decline. And this is actually literally a compound word, like playground are in English. Two words that are combined together, like glued together to make one word. Okay, and the example is given is ha ba ra Hadramaut, which is the name of a city, which was derived apparently from two words meaning hadara, mautun, death. Mautun is death, and hadara was present here. But Hadramaut was is now one word. Okay, and with this word, the first part is always like fathas. Okay, uh, the second part is according to the amil. So this can change according to amil, what affecting it. So the harakat here can change depending on amil, but the first part is always maftuhun. Okay, first part is a fatah 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 like this. Okay, the second part changes. So this is murakkab man sarfi. Murakkab manu sarfi. That's the five types of phrases. Okay, so we talked about a lot over here, and this completes that little table which I will talk about next time. All right, in detail. One more review, inshallah. Salatu wassalamu ala